This is Corolla Digital.
Hello, my little dill pickle flavored sunflower seeds. It's me, Allison. And yes, dill pickle flavored sunflower seeds are a real thing. I saw them the other day, and I saw the bag, and I picked it up and I smelled it, and I couldn't smell anything dill from the bag. I don't think I would enjoy that. I don't enjoy sunflower seeds that are in the hull, or is it husk? You know, because I feel like, hey, I'm not a parrot. I don't want to have to crack that thing open. And are you injecting it with dill? I don't know. But the reason I'm calling you guys carbs is because, as you'll remember last week, there's been a hue and cry over the fact that I tried to call you guys office supplies, and then I tried to call you guys meat, well, other way around. And more people want to be called carbs, so I'm going back. I've listened. I'm responding to the listeners. That's you guys, people whom I love. And also, speaking of hue and cry, we got a puppy this weekend. Thank you, Gary.
I'm very happy for you.
I'm happy too, but people had said that it's exhausting. I don't think I really understood. Like, I had a moment last night where I said to Daniel, I feel overwhelmed because I just suddenly have this feeling of, oh my God, this is never going to end, this responsibility. Like, I will never be able to not feel responsible for this little being. Now, granted, when he grows up, or even when he just gets housebroken, it'll be a whole different story. But right now, at all times, I feel like there's like a pot on the stove that's about to boil over, and that's his bowels. Also, we took him to the vet for not his first time at the vet, but our first time taking him. And he's very little, and they took his temperature, and you probably know where this is going, but I had to hold him and hold him tight and hold him close to me while they stuck a little thermometer up his tiny little butt, and he cried, and not just like like I did when I had to have a rectal exam. That's old news. Not just like it was like he kept crying. And it was so traumatic for me. He seems okay, but it's taken me a while to get over. And then it made me realize, wow, it must be awful to take your little kids to the vet. But really, it must be awful to take your kids to the pediatrician because they don't understand why this thing that's happening to them hurts. And yet, if you're a good parent, you take them. I don't know. A lot of people have said to me, like my mom, this whole puppy thing is good experience for having a baby. But if anything, I think it's made me realize, wow, I'm going to have to crate train a baby. So you guys, I think we have an iTunes comment of the week.
Allison wants your iTunes comments. Allison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
Wait, I realized I have 2 more things to say. One more. The first one. We still have not named the puppy. We're now choosing between Tony, Oliver, Simon, and Linus. So let me know what you guys think, although hopefully we will have settled on one by the time you hear this, because Daniel's like, we just need to pick one and go with it. We just need to pick one. And the more he says we just need to pick one, the more I'm like, wait, what about this? What about this? What about this? So I'm an asshole. I'll admit that. And also, Gary, I realized I think we have hit, it was Monday's show the year anniversary? Because based on the episode numbers, this is episode 53, so we've done 52. 52 is a year. Anyway, happy anniversary to us. Yay!
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay! Woo!
And by the way, I think Linus sounds like a private school dog, too. You had voiced concern that
No, I
Oliver,
thought Oliver sounded like a private school
I
dog.
think Linus does as well.
Oh, you agree that Oliver does?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they both kind of do, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
What does
Listen.
Simon sound like? Just a nerd?
Val Kilmer in that movie, The Saint.
Oh, I'm a Val Kilmer fan, and I didn't see The Saint.
It's a good movie. Underrated.
But I want to name my dog after his character in it?
You could.
Okay.
But then again, in that movie, his character doesn't really have a name.
See, we've actually been calling... Sorry, Daniel. We've actually been referring to him as the Snuggly. Like, oh, I can't wait till the Snuggly gets here. That's before he got here. And Now we just call him the baby. But I was like, how about Snuggly? And then that got vetoed. And it is silly. Maybe Oliver. I don't know. I'm bad at naming stuff. Anyway, also, I'm sorry that I and wooed so many times in your guys' ears. That couldn't have been pleasant to listen to. I was just trying to congratulate us on our year. Much like how you have to and woo or just say good dog and calm assertive energy when your dog actually, pees in the right place and whatnot. So my brain is scrambled because I've read too many dog books. It's sort of like my brain was scrambled when I'd read too many dating books. I should have just read dog books. Okay, back to our comment.
All right, our iTunes comment this week comes from With Love from Georgia, and it's titled, Shh, Don't Tell Adam.
Thank you for acting out the shh. I guess there's no other way to do it.
There's really not.
No.
I can thank my boyfriend in a roundabout way for getting me into Alison Rosen. He absolutely loves Adam Carolla's podcast, so I began listening to The Adam Carolla Show. Reed was forced to begin listening to The Adam Carolla Show, and would listen mostly while driving long hours for my job that requires frequent travel. I finally realized that my favorite part of ACS was Alison Rosen's news segments, and I was more than ecstatic to find that Alison had a program of her own. I may or may not love her show more than Adam's. Shh, don't tell him or the boyfriend. I absolutely love listening to her interviews and learning so much about great comedians, writers, entertainers, etc. My favorite part of the show is Just Me or Everyone, because I've thought the same thing my whole life. It's nice to find out that I'm not alone. Anyway, just wanted to say how much I enjoy what you do, Alison. You make my long drives to the depths of South Georgia much more bearable. Thank you.
Thank you for that really, really, really nice comment. That was very sweet, and I'm glad that you enjoy Just Me or Everyone, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you say, yes, I'm not alone. I'm not a freak. Even though most of mine, my own personal Just Me or Everyone's, turns out I am a freak. But, whatever. Anyway, if you want your comment to potentially, I was going to say perhaps and potentially at the same time, potentially, perhaps, not potentially, be an iTunes comment of the week, just leave us a comment and click 5 stars. That's our favorite number. And then maybe we'll read it. Okay. It might be time for a fan phone call.
On a fan phone call, Alison wants to thank you all. On a fan phone call.
We will be calling Will.
You have reached the Sprint voicemail box of...
Hey, Will. It's Alison Rosen from the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend podcast. We're calling you as part of the fan phone call segment. But alas, you did not take our call. How is that supposed to make us feel? Not very good. Actually, I feel okay about it because I figure you probably didn't know we were going to call. Anyway, this could have been a pretty exciting night for all parties involved, but instead, it's just a wash. Thanks, Will. Thanks for listening, and tell your friends. Okay, bye. Well, this happens sometimes. As all of that was happening, I was thinking, what I really want to say about the fact that it may or may not be our year anniversary, and by the way, my not quite knowing what's going on in terms of the date is not unlike how I never know exactly what's going on with my period, and I'm always surprised when it comes, and then I'm like, I should have predicted that. It's about between 23 and 28 days later. What I wanted to say about that was thank you guys so much for listening and for making this show so fun for Gary and me to do for a year now. Because if we didn't have the interaction and the feedback and just feeling like this show is being listened to and that people appreciate it, then we probably would have hung up our hats a long time ago. But instead, we're still wearing hats. Yes,
Yeah,
Gary?
I'll second that. Thank you, guys, so much.
Yeah, you're awesome.
It's great. We get your emails and your tweets, and it's
Yeah.
super. It's really nice.
And actually, to be ultra sincere, I was telling someone recently that it's kind of amazing. The thing I've discovered on this show is that the more I just say what I feel and am just myself, the better the reaction is. And I don't even know if I would have known that was possible, because I feel like so much of not just show business, but just so much of life is feeling like you have to be a certain way in order to get a certain reaction. And, you could just be completely off the cuff, or you could try a little harder to come across a certain way. But here, the more I just strip away the artifice and just say these things that I didn't think I would ever really feel comfortable saying in front of anyone. The more I do that, the better I feel, and I hear from people that they feel comforted by that too. So, yay, let's all just say the most personal, embarrassing shit. That's the world that I would like to live in. This is going to be a sudden segue. I need to tell you guys about my friends over at GoToMeeting. We love GoToMeeting from Citrix. In this day and age, you have colleagues who are working in different places. And not only that, even if you're in the same town, do you really want to have to get together in the office to have a meeting? No. Offices have old office smell, or even new office smell. The point is you're breathing in Berber, and you don't need that when you can have the same kind of meeting with the same kind of interaction and contact on your computer from the comfort of wherever you are. You could be in a coffee house, you could be in a hot tub, you could be in a cold tub, you could be in a conga line, you could be at a Lamaze class, especially if you're pregnant. You could be having a baby, although that's going to show in going to show in your face. So that would be one time. Well, no, you know what? There's never a time not to use GoToMeeting. And the thing is, when unlike just having a meeting on the phone where you can't see the person's face, and so you can't really tell if they're disinterested, if they're rolling their eyes, if they're chewing on their pen, etc. When you're having a GoToMeeting, you totally can see that, and that helps you because you can read their body language, and then you're building a greater connection, and there's more information there. It's easy to launch or join a meeting from anywhere using a Mac, PC, your iPhone, or tablet. You can even host a meeting from your iPad, which is great. And you can collaborate on documents. You can give other people control of your screen. It's amazing what you can do with this product. Start hosting your own face-to-face online meetings today with GoToMeeting. My listeners, that's you guys, can try it free for 30 days for this special offer. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Alison. That's GoToMeeting.com, promo code Alison. Try it free today. Also, you guys, Valentine's Day is today. It is today. Did you mess it up? I feel like you might have. And you don't want to mess it up again. In fact, you might want to score a few points. And here's how. Here's how to get your lady to think you're a hero and spice things up in the bedroom. I said before, no one wants an unspicy bedroom. Go to bettersex.com and learn how to dramatically improve your sex life and make sex fun. BetterSex.com has thousands of items to add pleasure to your love life, including adult toys, vibrators, sexual solutions, as well as sex ed and adult DVDs, all backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. 100% satisfaction. Guaranteed! That is nothing to take lightly. You can even check out BetterSex.com to learn techniques that will rock your partner's world. BetterSex.com has everything you need for fun sex. And if you enter FRIEND at checkout, friend, because I'm Alison Rosen, your new best friend, you'll save 50% off any one item, get 3 free erotic videos, and free shipping. There's also expert advice brought to you by the Sinclair Institute, America's trusted leader in sexual health, with a slogan like more sex, better sex, more often. It's my slogan as well. It kind of says it all. So get to bettersex.com today, enter friend at checkout, and you'll save 50% off any one item, get 3 free videos, and free shipping. And it says a lot if you put in the effort and the time to try to spice up your sex life. I can say, as a woman, that we appreciate that. It shows that you care and that you're thinking about all levels of the relationship, or of the relationship. That's I'm going with that. That's bettersex.com. Enter the friend at checkout. It's a great deal. You'll turn your love life into a fun and deliciously wicked ride. The one you've always wanted. Because great lovers are made, not born. All right. Welcome to part 2 of my interview with Dr. Drew. Already gotten a lot of really good feedback on part 1. I really enjoyed sitting down and talking with Dr. Drew. I think you guys know how much I love him. So here we go. Here's the episode. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and don't forget, if you have $1.99 burning a hole in your pocket and you want a little bit more Alison Rosen is your new best friend, there's a bonus episode recorded live from LA Podfest with Doug Benson and Greg Proops, and that is available in the comedy album section of the iTunes store. I love you guys.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen. Alison's your new best friend.
I have the thing where, like, I'm in a room, someone's in a bad mood in this room or work environment, and I'm not even talking to them, and I am in.
I wonder if we're going to drive people crazy with this podcast, our podcast together. If we'll be irritating or well received.
I would imagine it'll be a hit, super well received.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Or we'll drive some people crazy.
No, I think Alison's right.
Super well received, yeah.
Super well received.
Yeah. This is possibly the best episode ever. It probably is. Yeah. So I don't even have to give them my
You don't
Dr.
say
Drew
anything.
compassionate face because I'm not even relating to them. I'm just over here in the corner. Urinating on my leg because I'm uncomfortable because there's bad energy in the room and I feel and does anyone I need to fix it or I need to blah 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 or like ugh.
But
I'm exhausted hearing myself.
But remember, it's bad.
It's my problem. I am aware of that.
Yeah. But we're starting to get to an area where because this is the feeling area, and so language isn't very suitable to this. But let's try it. You're talking about bad energy, which I'm experiencing. Hearing you talk about it, you're really talking about aggression.
Yeah.
And aggression is different than somebody's in a negative feeling state. Aggression is something coming. Likely,
you're right.
You're afraid it's going to come at you. So you're really talking, I'm afraid, which is, that's different. That's do something to protect yourself. Go ahead. It's okay to get out of the way of aggression and somebody who feels aggressive and that kind of thing. That's okay. Mm-hmm. And nor do you have to make them not be aggressive or try to fix them. But if the other hand, if somebody is feeling sad and agitated, you can appreciate that. They're hard to differentiate those things.
Well, it is, and it's also that sometimes people's sadness or stress is expressed as
that's right.
As aggression.
So if you can get the real feeling reflected back, go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. But don't be afraid of getting out of the way of inappropriate aggression and that kind of thing.
Oh, I do, but
let me ask something.
I just would like it to not affect me at all.
Does it take the wind out of your sails? Does it make you?
Makes me. Earlier off air, we were talking about do I suffer depression?
Yeah.
And it makes me depressed.
Well, I'm experiencing talking to you about it that I feel deflated, like it's sucking the air out of the room.
Yes.
And that's not me. That's you because I don't have that reaction.
No,
and that's interesting.
You don't have that reaction to
aggressive people.
Yeah.
You just look at that. I don't know what that is, but that's a unique Alison reaction.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really feels like if there were a hole in the ground and we all got sucked into it, you go right down into that as soon as somebody gets aggressive.
I don't know what that is, but it is.
Dad.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the difference between waking up in a good mood versus waking up feeling
just
like
screams "Dad" at me. I see "Dad" in letters in your forehead.
That's good because mirror image would be this. Oh no,
still the same word. Basically,
yeah.
I'd read it as "Dad" anyway.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the confusion. It's the confusion of
because so much energy. It's so much energy to fight him.
But it's also. But I love this person. I think.
I know, but the energy he loves me, and it's sucking me down in this vortex. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm depressed.
I hate when words don't match the energy.
Do you hate me for bringing this up?
No.
Think about it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I swear.
I feel it.
You feel like I hate you?
No, not me really, but for bringing this out.
No, I don't think I do.
You need more permission to have negative feelings around people. It's okay.
I know.
It's okay.
Look, now I feel like I'm almost going to cry. God damn you, Dr. Drew. You're so good at what you do. Damn it.
It really is okay. I'll survive it, and I accept it, and you can feel that way, and we'll walk away and still be friends.
See, my parents, if you ever experienced an emotion that made them feel bad,
Yeah, that's their narcissism.
it was your fault.
Right, they're wounded.
Yeah.
They're wounded
It was
by it.
somehow, like if I were to be like,
Yeah, you're managing narcissists all the
Dad,
time.
this makes me
And-
feel this way.
Well, let me take it another layer, which is not only would they do that consciously to you, subconsciously the kid knows behind that is a pain that you have to manage and protect them from.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now what are you going to do? Now they tell you it's your fault, and you feel responsible to protect them from their own wounds.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you going to grow up? Where's your kid going to flourish?
Yeah, I know.
I had a lot of that stuff. A lot of stuff, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's...
I used to have a dream. One of my bad dreams was my parents became babies right in front of me. And I was like taking care of them. They were babies. And I was like 5.
Yeah.
It's like, it's overwhelming. It's panic-striking.
Right.
And kids cannot be responsible for their parents' wounds.
And
It overwhelms them.
And then...
Now, by the way, I feel the whole...
Yeah.
Like we're going up an elevator.
You know, periodically when the rules would change and now they're the parents again and I'm just a kid, that's when I would experience rage. Like, oh, you do not... Like, I remember... They were having a peephole put in the door, and
You're not the boss of me.
well, I wanted them to put it so that I could at 5-year-old height,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't, and I could not. I felt like this, like I've never been so disrespected. How
Such an affront.
Yeah, I mean, it
I'll
was.
say good day, Dad.
I just couldn't believe. I felt it was a betrayal. It was a betrayal because we're all equals. I mean, that's how they had,
I would
accidentally
say-
made me feel.
Right. They didn't acknowledge you as a 5-year-old.
Oh, they did not
You were
acknowledge me
supposed
as a child,
Right,
except occasionally when it'd be like, because we're the parents, that's why, and I'd be like, oh, what? I mean, yeah. So a lot of enmeshment and responsibility.
But see, Adam likes us for being like this, apparently. Because
Where are you getting this information?
No, I know he likes you, and I
No,
know he likes being around people that
Are we
oriented
his
this
symptom
way.
bearers?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, do we experience the emotions that he can't?
Well, we're on the opposite end of a spectrum from him.
Yeah.
But probably the same spectrum. It's probably a narcissistic spectrum.
I did take your quiz, and I scored quite low. The narcissism thing quiz. I was like 13.
Yeah, I was like a 15 or 16
Right.
myself. I don't know.
It could be.
I don't know. Well, and remind you, we were looking for people more like him. You know what I mean? We were looking for narcissists.
Oh,
You know what I mean? More classically.
Right.
You notice in the DSM-5, it doesn't include people like us.
Right.
And yet I do think we're on the same end of a spectrum.
I mean, I spend time worrying, could I be a narcissist? Am I? Like, I don't, am I? But that's a narcissistic fear, probably.
That's right. That's a self-preoccupation.
Yeah.
James Masterson used to call it a closet narcissist. It's like the anti-narcissist, but
Right.
still a self thing.
Yeah.
Therapy does wonders.
Yeah.
Just does
No,
wonders.
I know. I wanted to ask you about that. You said that you're a therapy junkie.
I went for therapy for 11 years.
Oh, you're not in it anymore.
No, my therapist became a psychoanalyst, and I have this fantasy I'm going to go back and do psychoanalysis with her. But I don't have time for it. I just can't do it.
Right.
Like when I'm 60, I'll go back and do it.
And I was listening to the episode of your show with Simone. Is it Bien?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? And you said that you think that a therapist should say nothing, but should just be asking questions to get clarity. Are you not?
Really good therapy is that attunement thing we were just talking about. It's just the therapist being an antenna and then reflecting back some signal that goes into your right brain, not your left brain. Left brain gets words. Right brain gets bodily-based signals that signal appreciation, containment, attunement. It's creating an emotional space.
So kind of like being the good parent to you in a mirroring way?
Not, we think about mirroring, again, I'm writing the book about this, we think about mirroring differently these days, but yes, like a container, like a nurturing environment. Particularly for our injuries.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff we deal with. And particularly for our, we have these stupid intellects that get in the way.
We do have giant intellects. It's amazing I can hold my head up. Well, what kind of therapist would it be that would do that?
Emotionally focused therapist. Listen to the podcast I did with Sue Johnson.
Okay.
Right, Gary? Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm going to let people know when that comes out.
Okay, good.
Is she the sex doctor?
No. This is totally different. Totally different person.
But there is a Sue Johnson.
There's
that
Sue
I'm
Johnson.
thinking. She's like Australian
she's
and has those.
She's a Canadian nurse.
Yeah, this is Sue Johnson and Lisa Palmer Olson. It's episode 15 of the Dr. Drew podcast, and it coincidentally comes out on February 15th.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, go
The Ides of
seriously
February.
listen to that. I think
Okay.
that one gives you we get into great detail about that kind of therapy.
Because I was actually just talking about the fact that I go back and forth with therapists. Like I've had cognitive therapists.
Yeah, and here's the cognitive behavioral therapy is the new thing. It's the new it therapist.
That's interesting because that was my first therapist. So then I went
Yeah.
in a different direction. But
I don't. That's
you're not
shit.
down with it?
I'm not. It works, and it is good for many people. And I have a guy actually. When's Brandon Stogsdill? I have a guy that was severe sociopath, criminal, and did sort of cognitive behavioral therapy on himself and had massive personality change, and then went to a therapist and did more of it. And that was where I started gaining at least a faith in CBT.
Yeah.
Brandon Stogsdill is the episode before that, episode 14 that comes out on February 13th.
Yeah, he has a miraculous story. And so I believe it works. I just don't believe it's for everybody. I certainly think for the codependent,
because that's the thing is that
putting me in more intellectual material,
Right.
more cognitive material, no.
Well,
No
see,
way.
sometimes I do just need like, here's this situation. I don't know what to do about it.
Yes,
Help me with that.
sometimes
Like, sometimes it's tools.
Yes, sometimes there are psychological facts. Like in these circumstances, how should a human behave?
Yeah,
What's likely to happen
yeah,
when I
yeah,
behave a certain
yeah.
way? What's the objective data to give us the best choice? Absolutely, 100%. Those things happen 1 out of a million.
Right.
As opposed to
I just need to talk about this thing that happened a long time ago. Yeah.
rebuilding our emotional landscape. That's a really different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rehooking up, trauma. I think trauma therapies are best through EFTs, emotionally focused therapies, or some very highly specific trauma therapy.
Where do you stand on EMDR?
I think it can be very good.
Because the cognitive therapist I went to this years ago, had me do that a few times. For people who don't know, it's eye movement. What's EM?
I can never remember.
Desensitization.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. It's similar. It's in the realm of hypnosis. It did nothing. I couldn't. I couldn't get past wanting to laugh. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, it's because really good EMDR should be like an emotionally focused therapy, and it doesn't sound like your person was sort of skilled that way.
Perhaps not.
They were more in a sort of cognitive frame.
Yeah.
Which is good for some people. That's the hard part about picking therapists and stuff. I've done multiple podcasts on just trying to help people navigate those waters.
Yeah, I mean...
And by the way, most insurances cover 5 visits anyway, so you're only going to be able to do CBT.
Right. And I think that I probably have trouble speaking staying in the emotional level because I will intellectualize pretty quickly in that room.
I would go into therapy sometimes and go into a fugue state and not speak for 40 minutes.
And just sit there?
I don't know what I did. Time would collapse. And finally she would just go, okay, that's your time. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? What happened? What just happened? I'd like wake up, like what the hell just happened? And I would fall into those pits. And I believe, my own belief is that most people with trauma have traumatic dead spots. I've dropped into them with patients before. And if you can tolerate moving in and out of them, they shrink. And they do tend to be a source of anxiety, I think. Traumatic dead spots.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like these places, these emotional places that you can't get at by yourself, but in a really safe environment, you'll sort of fall into them periodically.
Like a fainting goat, like you're just out.
Yeah, it's a weird spot, and if you can get in and out of it, you can sort of master it and wire it out, and it goes away. Mm-hmm. I feel like I don't have those anymore.
Wow.
And I think they create feelings of emptiness, and I think I did have some of that.
Do you ever wish you were still in therapy?
Do I wish I were still in therapy? Occasionally. Okay, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I really wished I were, I'd be in it.
Yeah. So how did you meet your wife?
Radio. And I had one of those oh my God experiences with her. Oh, I had it twice. Here's a weird experience.
Okay.
How are we doing on time? We're okay? Okay.
We're good.
Because these stories are long. My second year of medical school, I went down to Laguna and held up my parents had a little condo down there then. And we held up and studied for 2 weeks straight for our boards. You have first set of boards after your second year of medical school. And we studied our ass off. And the guy and I was down there, we almost like killed each other. We started getting so agitated and sick of each other. And we go, we're going to go out tonight. We're going to go out. Let's go to Newport. And we went to a place called McCormick's Landing. Remember McCormick's Landing?
Yeah.
Over by the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we went down to the bar. The bar was, I think, downstairs, remember, right? And there was a fashion show going on. And this woman was like announcing the fashion show. And I was like, I took my breath. Like, I got to talk to that girl. And I don't really get that. It was like a weird experience for me. And I went over and tried to talk to her, and she just blew me off so badly. I had to leave. She's like, it's like, was brutal.
Devastating.
Devastating. I was like, let's get out of here. Fuck, this is like ridiculous. Didn't think any more of it. Used to that. And fast forward.
Were you not popular with the ladies growing up?
No. I had a girlfriend for many years in high school, and then college, zero, like really nothing going on. And then after that, like when I started getting confidence again, I was going to medical school, I had like a purpose in life, and my depression had lifted, by the way. Got better.
Okay.
Got better. Went on a little bit of a rampage, too. Like, I was mad at women, too, for a while.
Right, so you were going to get them back with your penis.
I'm not sure it was that explicit, but I was, like, not very caring. Not very, yeah. Okay. Certainly wasn't looking for a relationship, that's for sure. But now fast forward 6 years. No, 2 years. It's the end of medical school. And Susan was working with the promotions team there and stuff, and I met her again and had that same experience. She was doing the same thing with like the bikini models and stuff at K-Rock. And I was like, I got to talk to this woman. It was just the same feeling. I got to talk to somehow I got to, and we started talking. And she actually came on Loveline as sort of a guest one night. And there was just something about her. And I was like, I did something I've never done before since. I went up to her at the end of the day. I knew she had a boyfriend. I said, look, I know you have a boyfriend, and I'm not that guy, but should you ever leave the guy, I just want you to have my phone number. Just please call if you ever.
Ballsy.
Yeah, but it was like not. I couldn't not do it. It was very strange. She called. We started dating. We're dating regularly for like a year, maybe 2 years. And I find a picture of that night from Costa Mesa, from Carmen Landing. And I'm like, wait, were you there that night? I was like, oh my God, that was you. I had no idea it was the same person.
Did she have any memory of it?
No, well, she remembers, brutally shooting down some preppy dude with a pink shirt on, but it was so weird that it was the exact same reaction, yeah, it meant something to me. Because I never had that, never really had that before.
Right.
And strangely, we, as we started sharing notes and stuff, our ancestry comes from the same part of West Eastern Europe and stuff. There's some weird genetic calling there, I think.
What was your relationship history like before? You said you had a long-term girlfriend.
My girlfriend in high school and college, and a clingy, addictive kind of a thing I couldn't let go of. Oh, was I an awful boyfriend? And
you were clingy and addictive.
Yeah. And she tried to get out a few times. I wouldn't allow it. Oh, I feel bad for that. Then finally, when I started gaining some autonomy, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done with being mistreated, because I'm being mistreated a lot of the time.
Yeah. Did you bring anything unhealthy at the beginning to your relationship with your wife, or were you?
Well, no, not healthy. Neither of us. We were not ready. We were on, off. We just kind of treated each other like shit for a while.
How romantic.
Which was sort of what people did in your 20s. That's what they do. I mean, you're trying to figure it out, and you don't feel safe. But we always kind of like really were very intense together. Mm-hmm. And I remember towards the about 4 or 5 years in, she started really pushing. We got to get married. Got married. And I was not ready. And that was that. We broke up for about a year and a half after that. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of found our way back together. I was like, wait a minute.
Is that when you went on your rampage?
Yeah. And I really believe men got to get shit out of their system when they're in their 20s. They just because
semen particularly.
Their chi has got to be out, and because you cannot let that affect your ability to stay in a relationship later. It's got to be just okay, done and done. Ready for this.
Are you saying you have to sow your seeds?
Whatever that is for any given guy, you've just got to be clear that you're in the right place in life and done with the bullshit and ready to be with somebody.
Yeah.
Not, I think I can hang in. No, that is, you're being irresponsible if you're having those kinds of thoughts. It's like, I am like prepared. I'm fine. And I was kind of in that mode then. And I was actually a little bit disappointed. Like, God, I'm just starting to feel like really like okay. But I was like, this is. And then it was like clear to me, there's something here. This is like ridiculous. Then I started feeling guilty for him making her wait so long. And all the periods we were on off, like, oh, for God's sakes, what's the matter with me?
Was it hard for her to open her heart to you after that year? Like, was she upset that you had?
No, I think we were both grateful to be back. And it just like made sense. It just was everything was better then.
Right.
There was no resentments or anything, I don't think.
Do you, like, what do you think it was that you responded so strongly
I don't
to?
know. Probably not healthiest things, because those kinds of intensity things are not.
Right.
But I'm so. See, it's a mixed bag, because I always advise people not to respond to intensity very much. You got to be careful. If I were advising myself back then, I'd say, "Hey, whoa, watch out." But what we did, the way it can be also, that kind of passion can be a source of great renewal. I mean, it really keeps you together. But you got to use mental health services. Everybody's got to have therapy. You got to have couples therapy. The kids got to have. You got to really be working on yourself, or it's just an expression of stuff that's not so good in you.
Does your workaholism, if you would call it that, whatever
I
you
would
want to
call
call
it
it
that.
okay,
It
how does
certainly used
that
to be that.
impact your family?
Well, thankfully, not so much in recent years, because I got treatment. That's really, I think, why Susan sent me to treatment, actually. I didn't tell you that story. Douglas had brain surgery when he was 1, and it was a terrible experience. It was really traumatic for us. He had an arachnoid cyst, and then he had something called posterior fossa syndrome afterwards. It was really intense.
Yeah.
And, the kid's like a genius, going to Vanderbilt, musical genius now, and whatever, and everything's fine. But then it was like, you talk about a guy with an anxiety disorder in the middle of his workaholism. Then I don't know how she hung in with all the workaholism, because I would get up at 5:30 in the morning and come back at 10 o'clock at night.
Right, so she's there with
every
3
day.
kids, yeah.
Well, mind you, they're 1 now. And so we were all in survival mode at that point. And she calls me one day, I'm at the hospital, blah, 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 and she goes, honey, you need to see a therapist. And I was like, yeah, I know, I need to. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to it. I'm sorry, I got one in mind. She goes, no, you need to do this. Like, hey, I'm putting you on notice. Do this or else. And I was like, oh, got it. Made the call right then. And that was where I started therapy. And I'm grateful for that.
Wow.
Yeah. And it made a difference. And then she had therapy. And I think ultimately my sort of journey in therapy was forming a secure attachment, like a really secure attachment to somebody. And that's a biological event, brains relating to each other.
Right.
And I think because of that success making that attachment, I was able to translate that back to her and to the kids. And so all of our connectedness and our attachments became more secure. And my workaholism diminished and all that good stuff.
Here's a fairly frivolous relationship question that does come up, though. What are your thoughts on the friend zone? And I'll tell you why I ask. My boyfriend, at the beginning, I did not want to get into a relationship. I didn't think the time was right for me. I had just moved back here. My life was in turmoil. But I really appreciated him, and I felt this like magnetic
that thing
draw. Exactly. I just felt like this is different than anything I've ever felt before. I feel I just feel warm and happy, and I feel like he really sees me and gets me, and I just want to be around him. But I'm not
ready.
Feeling that romantic thing yet. I'm not feeling the thing that in the past would have been like, oh my God, I have this huge crush on someone. It wasn't that. I didn't know what it was. And I know that when I would hug him to say goodbye, I began to the hugs became longer. Like I didn't want to let go. And then there was one night where he told me he just wanted to let me know how he felt. And I'm like, yeah, I know you. I didn't say that, but I didn't. I knew.
I mean,
it wasn't that. No. It wasn't that at all. But I did. It was just clear. Like I knew.
Yeah.
And I explained that I am not. I just don't.
Like you got all up in your head. I'm not ready for this now. I'm busy.
But it's like I felt like it'd be irresponsible for me to get into a relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
But I was like, I don't believe in the friend zone, though. I believe that if two people are meant to be together, they will end up together.
Yeah.
But so that night when we hugged to say goodbye, I still don't know how it happened, but I think we both turned our heads at the same time or something. I think he was actually going to give me a kiss on the cheek, but we ended up kissing, and then we've been together ever since. And sometimes I think somehow that just got me over all my whatevers. And sometimes I think if he had just gingerly given me a hug and then left, and then we saw, would it have been possible for us to actually have gotten stuck in the friend zone.
Sure.
You think that exists?
Oh.
Because I believe that if two people are meant to be together, it just will happen. But then I wonder
I think you would have gotten stuck for a while there if you allowed it to rest there for a minute, but you would have gotten where you were.
Right.
I think that the potential tells you that there was the potential.
Yeah.
And that potential would have been fulfilled at some point.
Okay.
I suspect.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Because people who fret over being stuck in the friend zone, people who worry, to me, my advice is usually like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Yeah, but the friend zone is different depending on who sticks it there. When a woman sticks it there, what?
Gary's laughing, and so am I, because sticking it there.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're children.
Oh, wow. When a woman leaves it there, it has potential to move out. When a man puts it there, it's less likely to move out of friend zone.
Oh, interesting. Sage words. All right, I think we have time for a quick Just Mirror, everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. Waiting Camry says, I have the urge to cross my legs when I notice other people crossing their legs, but I don't want to be seen mocking, so I'll wait. I don't have this problem.
No, mirroring is a sign of sort of camaraderie.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a good thing when you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't happen instantly. It's usually about a 3-second latency. So I'll cross my leg, or you don't even notice it most of the time.
Right.
You just automatically do it.
Do you facially mirror people's expressions in movies? Because I notice that I do sometimes.
Oh, Gary, that's really weird. Call security.
This is going to be the most unique Just Mirror everyone ever. I can already tell.
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
But mimicking is a common thing. I mean, babies do it when you stick your tongue out. It's
It's not conscious. It's just if someone on the screen is like, distraught and crying, I will frown.
Somebody
like,
should study that. That's a fascinating area of study.
Yeah. And then I notice that I'm doing it. I'm like, why is my face screwed up in this weird way? Okay. M. Mallinson says, watch the end of major sporting events involving my team on DVR delay to make sure my watching can't affect the outcome. But no, I don't watch major sporting events if I can avoid it. So no, I don't do that. But I suspect other fans do.
That's just this guy.
No.
You do it?
I know people who do that. I don't.
Go to the end? Huh?
No, he'll watch it. He doesn't watch it in real time because he's worried that his watching it will affect the outcome.
So he won't watch it live. It has to be on a tape delay after it's over so that his
But he watches the end first.
No, he's just
saying... Watch the end of a sporting event involving my team.
No, he watches the end on DVR delay.
Right.
Meaning like he'll watch it live and then he'll...
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sure lots of people do shit like that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
People are weird with sports.
Yes, people are... Well, that whole commercial series is on that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Boudoir Babe says, when talking to someone who has an accent, I will unconsciously start to mimic it, then have to consciously talk like normal.
That is common.
Yeah.
All your it's strangely, it's all about mimicking today. Huh?
I know, that is weird.
Yeah.
Jamie Alberton. I flip through magazines from back to front. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. I think that everyone sometimes does. Gary doesn't.
I wonder if men do that more than women. I always do that.
No. I do that because usually
it's
the
how
back
it works.
page.
It's just how it flips.
Well, I flip through magazines before I do anything and rip out every single fucking
perfume
ad and perfume thing.
Oh,
that
God.
shit just annoys the hell
When
out
it
of
falls out when you're walking around there. Ugh.
Well, sometimes I'll be reading a magazine and then I just have to see what's on the back page because usually they have something sort of light and entertaining on the back page and I'm bored and I don't want to read the whole thing.
Women read magazines so differently than men. So differently.
Well, how do you read them?
Well, first, I'm going to speak for Gary.
Not those kind of magazines.
They look for any magazine. They look for the hot chicks.
Seriously?
That's what guys do.
Yeah.
Then cars and electronics, right? And then articles of interest, right?
Yeah, there's probably something else in between there. The articles of interest comes like the third time you read it.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Young males.
I just
young males. I was a young man
through
once.
in the order of the pages.
No. Oh,
Why?
no. Why? Yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
You look for the stuff that
you're gonna get stuff forced in there. That you don't. Come on.
You know why? Because I don't want to have to deal with the whole go to page 124, and then the article jump thing. Actually, that made no sense because that happens even if you read it in order.
Right.
I don't know. All right.
But you guys always you look at stuff like, oh, that's me. I'm there. I'm at that spa. I'm at that dinner. I'm having that. Guys do not put themselves in the things they're reading about.
Really?
They're like, why are you reading about that? I mean, go do it.
Yeah.
But women are like, oh, I'm there.
I
in
went on
that.
a journey.
I'm going to take me away to that spa. We're like, oh, that'd be a nice place to go. Why don't they just tell me where it is?
The majesty and the pageantry of the words does not affect you in a magazine?
We aren't transported by it.
Right.
No.
All right. Celeb Feedback says, I only wash my hands when someone else is in a restroom so they don't think less of me. Even then, sometimes I fake it by running H2O. I've done this. See, here's the thing. Here's my thing.
I love that.
My hand skin gets very sensitive, and the soap in bathrooms is usually overly drying. So, and I don't, like, if there's times where I'll feel like I need to wash my hands, but for the most part, I really think whatever I'm touching is cleaner than the rest of everything in the bathroom.
Here's the thing about going to bathrooms today.
Yes, please.
It's an opportunity to wash your hands, and hand washing is good. We should be washing our hands more often. But going in the bathroom in 2013, you don't touch anything.
Right.
You touch nothing. So why do you wash your hands? You're not touching your
You're not
genitalia.
flushing.
You're
Yeah.
not flushing. You're not touching the sink. And when you touch the door on the way out, that door has either been touched by people who have touched nothing,
Right.
or have washed their hands.
Wait.
So
How are you not touching your genitalia in 2013?
well, you may touch a little bit, but your genitalia are just your skin.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's like what's the big deal? I mean, it's
Right.
an opportunity to wash your hands. Grant you, it's a great. It's what we tell our kids, like, hey, wash your hands as much as you can because you get flu, blah blah.
Right.
But you don't touch anything when you walk in a bathroom
I mean,
anymore.
this is pretty much a number 1 versus number 2 situation. Let's just call it what it is.
Number 2 is a good idea to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Generally.
Dan
But
the
most people
Dodge.
go there for number 1.
If a pizza box is less than 48 hours old, I assume it's clean and use it as a makeshift cutting board. Yeah, I haven't done that because I feel like it would cave in, but I would assume it's clean, except when I think about it, it might not be.
I'm just saying, pizza box still in your kitchen 48 hours later, you got a problem.
Okay.
Just saying.
Tard basket. Creeped out by adults that order ranch dressing on their salads. Now, this makes me remember a conversation I had with my friends years ago. It was like, what's your favorite salad dressing? And I think I said ranch. Although now it isn't anymore. And then my friend's like, that figures. And I said, what does that mean? She's like, well, it's a trendy dressing. I was like, excuse me, that's
Ranch
what?
is a trendy dressing?
It was surprising to me. And I was like, I didn't know you felt this way about me. But
And my dressing.
right, and my choice of dressing. So I'm just saying I've encountered people who have weird feelings about ranch, but I don't understand it.
No, I don't either.
It's it's not.
It's an outdated dressing. It's not a trendy dressing.
This is when I was 18.
Yeah, see? Then it was
The
trendy.
heyday of ranch. Matt Spolg. I finished singing the rest of the Facts of Life theme when the news intro stops. Oh, yeah, I think everyone does that. That's a reference to my news song on the Adam Carolla Show.
I think it was 8 months in that I had to ask Michael Lynch what that song was from.
Oh,
Gary's
wow.
young.
You're too young, man.
Chris didn't know who Imelda Marcos is.
Really?
Who?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Imelda Marcos.
100% serious.
Marcos? No.
The shoes?
Philippines?
I know that Chris is from the Philippines.
See, this is what we're up against. He definitely didn't know who Christy McNichol is, which is more understandable.
That is understandable.
Yeah. All right.
Justine Bateman?
I know Bateman.
You know,
but
Justin Bateman.
Jason.
Jason Bateman, rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Justine Bateman?
I don't think so.
No. See.
I have a just mirror
At
everyone.
one time, she was much more famous than
Yeah,
her
Mallory from Family Ties.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy.
brother. Careful, I'll go into 60s cartoons with you if I really upset myself.
Yeah. You know, there are times when Adam will talk about a show that he assumes that I know that's like just a little before my time, and I don't want to tell him, so I'll just be like, family, yeah, I know, or whatever. All right. Well, I have a just me or everyone that is it's more like a love line call. Something I think I've told one person ever.
Uh-oh.
It's embarrassing, but I'm going to but I need to use up my Dr. Drew time with this question.
All right, here we go.
Okay. There is
Then I got to urinate. I've got to go so badly.
all right.
Just trying to make you feel easier about this.
Thank you. There's a spot on my butt that if I press it, I will feel it in my right nipple.
Fascinating.
It feels
for
like
you.
But I can't find it. It's more like it's not like I know exactly
Try
where
right
this is.
now. Try.
It's a bathroom thing. It's like if
Oh, it's
I'm
way
wiping,
in. It's way inside.
Yeah. And it feels like an electric pulse.
Yes, that's that's your autonomic nervous system, which goes upstream and downstream. It's like some men, after they finish urinating, will get a chill up their spine. There's various aspects of the autonomic system, which is probably what acupuncture is going into. That sort of hooks up in ways that aren't making a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it's weird because it's
and think about
it's
your
exactly
nipples,
the same spot.
Yeah, your nipples and your genitalia and your asshole, sort of visceral function areas, Gary loves this.
It still throws me when I hear you throw the word asshole into a medical diagnosis.
Anus, rectum.
I
anus.
understand. It's just weird.
Like how do women get pain in their breast when they hear a baby cry, or they get pain in their in their uterus when they hear a baby cry and stuff. All that's kind of hooked together in kind of ways that aren't like an electronic circuitry. There's a back and forth and stuff. So that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think once I mentioned it to one person.
Now, I don't think it's a common thing. It's not like everybody has that spot.
But I just wonder if everyone everyone has some sort of predictable, like, referred sensation, like
probably.
It's weird. Like I said, it's very predictable.
Yeah, and I think it's related to, again, the kind of tracks that acupuncture have discovered. I think it's something in that zone because I think the future of the brain is in the autonomic nervous system. My autonomic nervous system, we have like basically two other brains in our system, which are these sympathetic plexuses, which are very complex processing systems of our visceral and autonomic function. And then the how our autonomic system is laid out is very precise, and yet we have no idea why it's set up that way. That all has to get worked out. And I think when we understand that, we'll have a direct connection into certain kinds of feelings and emotional states, because the feelings and emotions are embedded in our body.
Right. How redlining is your bladder right now?
Moderate.
Oh, okay. Then one more question.
Okay.
So this new segment that I want to do, which is called, well, hooray for you.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be messing around on the internet and I'll see that, oh, so-and-so got this person as a guest on their show, or so-and-so's podcast is #1 or whatever. Or like, look at this New York Times article on this person who has a podcast. And I'll be like, ugh, I'm happy for this person. I realize that like a rising tide lifts all boats and blah, 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 blah.
You fucking hate them. That bitch, especially if it's a woman.
I feel no.
Yes.
Gary, when have I ever expressed any of this to you?
You were the one that announced.
What did I say when you told me about this segment?
You said that you felt like I shouldn't do it?
Yeah, because I thought it sounded mean.
But you're nodding as if you know that I hate them.
No,
which is
I'm
not
nodding
true.
because I got the same vibe out of you when you explained this to me as he just said.
I think he's picking up on a different vibe. He's picking up on...
I'm saying I'm giving you shit because it really isn't what you're feeling. But it may be there may be a kernel of truth in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I'm using that retarded voice.
The reality is the funny part is funny.
Yeah.
It is funny. But the reality is you have to find gratitude in that for that person.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to very
You
much.
have to really feel good for them.
I'm trying to, but instead it strums this chord of like, well, why not me?
And that's funny.
And here's my question, though. Do you feel those kind of things?
I have half of it. I have the I'm genuinely happy for the people that have success. I really am. In fact, I'm kind of dismayed by a world we live in where people want to attack and are envious of people that are having success.
Even if it's a contemporary, even if it's like some other TV doctor gets some.
No, if they do
accolade.
it like if it's Oz or Gupta or something, they're really I think are legitimate guys I admire. Hats off to them. But then you ask, why can't I? What's the matter with me? I think I get the what's the matter with me that I can't. That's what I get. I don't get the why not me. I get the what the hell am I doing wrong? What's the matter with me that I always have to struggle with this, struggle with that. And I always try to take responsibility for it. Like that's the only thing I can do. The rest of it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell? What the fuck? Why am I always struggling so much? Why is it 3 kids in college is so hard? Why can't that be a little easier? That's all. So I feel that's the what was me.
Right. But
then I turned it. You got to turn it over and go, Jesus, I'm so grateful for what I do have. I'm happy in my marriage. My kids are healthy. Everything's really good. Can you feel grateful?
Are you asking me that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I sit there and I'm like, I need to cultivate an attitude of gratitude.
That's not
Why
it.
can't I? You know what? Honestly, it's like the fact that I'm in this state makes me go, oh, I'm about to get my period. Like it's a hormone. This is a predictable hormonal emotion.
Enjoy it then.
Oh,
Go nuts on it.
Yeah.
But it's not really you.
It's not enjoy it. Well, yeah. Yes, but I would rather not have my sense of self so easily put asunder by like stupid bullshit, and that stupid bullshit being other people getting things that I feel like, well, why didn't I get? You know what I mean? Like it's very like my perception gets skewed pretty quickly, and I just feel.
Are you embarrassed by that?
Yeah.
You're flushing a little bit, I think.
I am. See.
Do you flush?
Yeah. And sometimes my nose turns red.
I'm
It's a
so
real,
sorry.
Like, Rudolph
You
kind
don't
of
have to be embarrassed.
situation.
It's all right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gary
because
shamed you. Fuck you, Gary.
Yeah, that was really harsh. I do feel bad about that. I'm sorry, but
you made her flush. Now you're
no.
going to see my codependency coming.
I absolutely did not mean to say that I thought you hated these people. That was if
You're
that's
just being
if
an
that's the way
asshole.
you guys took it, then I'm sorry. I may be being an asshole.
You
but
judged me. You made me feel not safe to be myself. I'm just to see. Here's
I'm
the thing.
sorry.
Codependent Gary will now feel really bad. I'm just kidding. Sorta. No, I am just kidding. No, the reason I feel bad is because these are petty emotions that I don't want to
Yeah, I
think
get it.
are part of me.
I get it.
You know, I would like to be like, I don't want to be someone who's not happy for someone else's success. I want to be someone who is happy.
I think there may be a general vibe in the world where everyone's getting that way. Try to step away from it. Step away from the flame.
Yeah.
We should be happy for many successful people as there can possibly be.
I mean, I think a lot of it is this industry.
The competitiveness.
Yeah, it breeds this sense of we only have, 4 slots for 15,000 people or something, which is that, but that's not even the truth. Like I'm well aware of that.
Then you need to take care of yourself in some other way.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality of this industry.
Right.
You need to have a piece of your life that's meaningful over here, something else.
I know. Well, Dr. Drew, thank you so much for doing my show.
My pleasure. I
This
feel
has been
exposed.
Really,
Did you learn something about me?
I've learned a ton about you.
Think of me differently now?
I mean, I couldn't have thought of you in a better way, but now I have a more full image of the perfection that is you.
Oh, come on now.
You feel exposed
Say it
in a
again.
good way or a bad or a bad way?
I feel I don't know. I feel honest, so it doesn't really matter.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And a reminder to you guys, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, like Dr. Drew's myriad books, how many of them are there?
Well, the Cracked was a labor of love, and it was really Celebrity Rehab before Celebrity Rehab. It was like what it feels like to take care of drug addicts. Mirror Effect is about narcissism, if you want to learn about that. Those are the two main ones. And I'm writing another one now about intimacy and all the stuff we were kind of touching on.
Ooh, when's that come out?
It's done. I bet you next fall.
Okay.
That's my bet.
If you want to buy one of those books, then
I think you can pre-order it. It's called Restoring Intimacy.
okay.
Yeah.
So pre-order that
Yeah.
on Amazon. And why not click through the banner on my website because it doesn't cost you anything extra and it helps out the show. That would be wonderful. Dr. Drew, on Twitter, you're at Dr. Drew, yes?
And drdrew.com. Check out that website, please.
Yes, and, host of the Dr. Drew podcast. And
I am loving podcasts.
At Dr. Drew Podcast on Twitter.
that's right. And co-host of the Adam and Drew Show, which is, essentially Loveline in podcast form. And anything else that you want to direct people's attention to.
HLN, 9 o'clock. Please support that show. It's actually becoming a good show. We found our way, I think.
Good. Well, thank you again. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Thank you for choosing the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. That's right. That's right. Those good times don't seem to end. That's right. That's right. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We see you next time for the Alison Rosen Show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
This is Corolla Digital.